Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everybody doing? Mm, Slow morning this morning. But I know Nikki was in here earlier than Big Guy. How you doing? Ralph, how you doing? Hope you can make it back. BKK Monday. Wow, awesome. Joe had some fake news. I saw that down there, Joe. I think Gray's Logan caught it first, said fake news. Um, Mike's, how you doing? I'll go over some little stuff here this morning and then bring you try to bring you on, and we're gonna try to visit with Mike's Wave 2, um, and we'll see what that turns into. Logan, how you doing? Joe, of course. Andrew, how are you? Glad you can make it. There's Joe's big news. I don't think that'll ever happen. Just joking. Andy, how are you? There's Mike's. How you doing, Mike's? You guys aren't they Mike says a live stream he does every Saturday 8 a.m. uh on it's every Saturday, right? I'm almost a positive. Yeah, I'm almost positive it is. With Robbie. I think walking my shoes. I'm horrible. Mike's will correct me if I'm wrong. And Scott saying hello to everybody. Cool. Glad glad you all could make it. So let's see. Had I don't know if you guys saw the little short. I'm going to actually do a video. The front pond is real close. We've got about 5 fish in there right now. I did notice a little bitty leak, so I'm going to have to see what that is about. And it's been running overnight. And then we're going to check. My wife, when she goes into work today, hopefully if I catch her, she's going to find out how much truckloads of water is. Rather than, I mean, that thing's only 450 gallons or something, and it took probably 4 or 5 hours to fill it. So this thing's 5,000 gallons. It take days. So I'm going to try to, if it's not too expensive, and they can semi guarantee me that it's decent water. I think that's probably the best way to go. I don't know. I was talking to Tim, TNW, and Udon about he's got a full size pool. I'm guessing 20, 30,000 gallons, whatever, more maybe. He was wondering what the price was too. So he's thinking about doing the same thing. Hey, Tom. Hey, Off the Hook. Hey, Verna. I think I caught everybody. So if that's the case, I might order it up today. The everything is pretty much done. The I've got enough to where I should be able to go ahead and turn it on and move a couple of fish into that one too. I think I'm going to keep. I think I said before I'm going to keep the temporary pond online for a few days and make sure that I don't have a problem somewhere that I've got to move them fish out of that pond quickly. It'd be nice if it was still set up. So I think I'll leave it up for a day or two and then move everything over there. And they've already got the bottom drain and the whole. I'm talking about the pool now. I have a tendency to switch gears and don't say anything. Hey, John, how you doing? The hole's dug and it's ready for steel. I had to order some steel, I think, this morning. I think my wife's ordering it. And some more, little bit of sand and a little bit of rock. Most everything else we have, block and concrete and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to say they're going to definitely pour the slab with the bottom drain and everything this morning, and probably the walls and stuff. I'm going to say within probably a week or so, the thing will probably have the walls up and stuff and the concrete in them. I got a light that's going to go in the pool. I didn't put a light in the koi pond, and I'm still waiting on the skimmer and a side mount. I got a separate side mount for the vacuum hose And then I've got one injector. I've got to order. There's a fly that's going to drive me nuts. I ordered one of the air injector type deals. It's not a fancy. My wife wanted bubbles. If you guys are new to the channel, she wanted bubbles in the pool. So there's going to be 4 jets there with the little. If you've seen them on jacuzzis before, where you open it up and it sucks air and shoves bubbles into 4 of them anyway. And I got to figure out the step configuration, and he'll build the steps. And man, I like I said, I'm still. Hey, hello, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while, ET. I really think I'll be swimming in that thing before the end of the year. In fact, I'm pretty much. Well, I don't want to go too far on a limb. I'm too fat. I might break the limb. But if I don't run out of money, I still got to get the I'm just going to put in a little baby sand filter. Thing's only 4,000 gallons or something like that, 38. I don't know. It's real small. And the one little one that Intertex actually makes, it's all a self-contained little deal, and it's got a leaf basket on it, and it's got a timer and everything. And I think it's 12,000 baht, something like that. And then I've already bought the diverter valve that I'll take the skimmer water and the bottom drain water and bring it into one. And then there'll be a T there for the vacuum. And very little piping. I'll pipe a 1/2-inch line in there just on a ball valve to put water in it. And I think that's it. And the 4 are actually the returns. There'll still be them 4 jets. So should work. And the tile is probably going to be the most expensive part. The tile that I liked, I think it's going to be like 30,000 baht just for the tile, and that's not for the grout and the whatever it's going to take to put it down and the labor to put it down. But that's probably going to be the most expensive part of the pool. Hello, Hong Kong. How are you? Glad you could make it. Did I miss anybody? There's Mike Sam. So I think what I'm going to do, I think that pretty much brings everything up to what's going on here at the house anyway. And I'm trying to think of I think that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link up for Mike's Waves 2. And what it is, I want to talk to him about losing a spouse and what Thailand is to him, what his plans are. He's 70 years old. Very similar to my type deal. I think he'll tell us when he comes in how many years he was together, or they were together. And let me put it in here now. And let me see if I remember how to do it. So you went on with Bobby once, Mike. So let's see, paste and enter. You just click on it. It should come up, I hope. How come it didn't come up? Let me try it again. There it is. And just click on that, and then I'll see you in the backstage deal. I just kind of go, like I said, I think, I mean, I don't know what this channel is about, having fun and living in Thailand, retiring in Thailand, talking about operations and whatever we want to talk about. But I think on what I'd like to get out of the channel is people that have lost a spouse and thought that life was done, like I did, and found out that no, it's not. Although you couldn't have told me that back then, but it's not over. So I'd like to do that, find some people, and Mike's being the first one. And I actually got through, I think it was ET. Hey, Robert, ET had told me, hey, go look at this channel. And it was one of the ones where he was explaining, what had transpired in his life. And he lives kind of close to me too in California. So yeah, it'd be interesting to talk and find out, because like I said, I'm kind of curious, because I think from what I haven't watched all his videos. I wish I could say I did, but I know that the ones that I did watch, she was questioning on what he wanted to do. Did he want to stay in the States? He has family. He has this and that. So it'll be interesting to find out exactly what's holding him. He's been here, obviously, I think for 2 or 3 weeks, and what he thinks about Thailand, what his impressions are about being here, and we'll see. And we'll bring him in here. He's back here. There you go. How you doing, Mike's?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Sounds good. Video's good.
Okay.
Everything's good. Yeah. So yeah, that's the basic gist of it. Is I'm kind of curious, to tell you the truth. I do want to try to help people that have questions about it, and like I said, I don't know how open you are to talking about your wife. I find it helps me to do it once in a while. I don't like to do it every day, but it helps me a little bit to talk about her. You know, I've got her on my arm here. I always put my arm up there. I had her tattooed on there, but I don't know how open you are about that. But or let's start out with the easiest part. You came to Thailand for the first time, right?
Yeah.
And what did you?
September 26th. And I was there from September 26th to October 23rd.
Okay. And what did you think?
Well, I've been back, 17 days, and, I really don't want to be here now.
Well, that's exactly what happened to me. What happened to me was my wife passed away. We had sort of planned on we were going to get a big ass diesel pusher. I lived up above. I grew up in the San Fernando Valley.
Right.
We moved 20 some odd years ago to Bass Lake, and I built a big metal building, and we were going to get a diesel pusher, put it in there, spend 6 months going wherever we wanted in the world until we found a place that, hey, this is cool. And then 6 months out of the year during the summertime here in the States and tour the United States. Well, that kind of got ripped out from underneath me, but without my, something that was beyond my control.
Oh,
but
sure.
I said, I'm going to go anyway. So I went. I spent 2 weeks right outside of Kamala in Phuket, and said, came back home and made arrangements when I was there. I said, okay, January 1st, I got a place for a year, blah, 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 did all the stuff. And I went back home, and 2 weeks later, I'm going, why am I sitting here? And I booked a plane, was on a plane the next morning with 3 suitcases, and I've been here for 4 years, in Kamala for 8 months or so. And then I met my wife, or her girlfriend at the time, and came here. Yeah. So, but it was, I was in the, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what you're, what you want to do with the rest. Like, I know we had talked a little bit, or I'd seen your videos about, or texted, emailed, that you have family there. That's kind of a thing to keep it. And we kind of, like I said before too, that I learned a lot of stuff myself being on here, that you think, okay, man, no, I'm going like gangbusters. I can retire when I'm 50. I can do this. I can do that. And then it never crossed my mind the whole time that grandkids, family, mother and father are 90 now and sickly, and you can't leave, so I never thought about that when I did it. I was lucky enough. My mom was in good shape. My kids lived 4 hours from me, and my daughter lives less than an hour from me, 40 minutes, and I didn't see them but twice a year. And granted, it's not all their fault. I could have went to them too, but it was like, now, like I said before, I'm curious on what you're thinking now after being here. But mine was go back every 4 months. Every 4 months, I'd fly back for 2 weeks. But I have the ability to have enough money that I could pay for $1,000, $1,200 flight 3 times a year to go back for 2 weeks. Yeah. And that was fine with me as far as FaceTime. And at the end of 4 months, to tell you the truth, it's been almost 3 years now. And it's a little long. I do miss my friends, my family, and stuff like that. This fly is going to make me crazy. But go ahead. What do you think I know you had mentioned that you don't really know, but what are you
Well,
thinking?
yeah, I really, it's hard to just go once to somewhere and decide, oh, this is where I'm going to go live. Um, my wife's sister had moved to Havasu back in 1977, and we were there 3-4 times a year, and we'd be
Right.
there over the years. So I moved down there in 1988, and got a job with the city down there in Lake Havasu, Arizona, and within 5 months, I was ready to come back. I didn't like it. And here we've
Yeah.
been going for years. So for me to actually make a decision on moving to Thailand, I don't know.
Tough one.
That's a big world there to
Yeah, see,
jump
now
right into it.
I've changed I'm a totally different person than I was years back. But if Joe wouldn't have got me going, I would never do this. I couldn't talk to anybody. I never could do anything. And now you can't shut me up. But I didn't really, have any friends. I was 18 years. We were in North Fork, which is
Right.
2 miles from Bass Lake.
Right.
And my wife went to church, and she had all her church friends, which I met, sort of
Right.
nice people and everything. It just
Right.
wasn't my gig. But I knew the guy across the street. That's it. 18 years, one guy across the street, and actually my mechanic. So 2 or 3 people there.
Yeah,
So it wasn't like,
that you actually talk to.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, when I left, it wasn't like, oh, I'm leaving my best buddy Bob and Bill and John and Jim, and I wasn't in that situation. So I made more friends coming here and on YouTube than I ever would have made
Oh yeah.
sitting at home. But I
Well,
didn't do much. So go ahead.
well, most of my friends that I had were people that I worked with. And when I retired in 2014, they weren't all my friends.
Right.
I don't have anybody that I can say, hey, I'm going to run over to his house. Now there's a guy across the street that I go over and talk to, and there's a guy 2 houses up that I go and talk to, and that's about it.
Yeah. I have 2 friends that actually have been in Havasu for, I want to say, go over 10, 15 years now, that both moved there. And I mean, friends that I still talk to the day. I grew up with. I mean, we from grade school up. So and I liked Havasu. We went to Havasu, 8-10 times a summer during the day. When Copper Canyon and and all the stuff and partying. And then the partying got so bad there, people were getting stabbed and stuff. I'm going, when did everybody stop having fun?
Right.
I don't get,
Sure.
raping people on the beach. And I'm going, and I grew up in the 70s. It was, almost free love time. It was, why
Sure.
does anybody have to rape anybody?
Sure.
I mean, we had a lot of fun there.
But yeah, my wife and I, we were looking at a point to where we were going to retire, and we wanted to stay close to the kids. In fact, one of them lived up in this area right here, was real close. When we bought the property, my wife helped design the house. The whole inside of the house is all hers. She's done everything in this house was hers. From picking the colors to the wood to the paint in the kitchen to the, everything. The whole house is her.
Right.
And that's a little bit I'm having a problem with right at the moment. Is trying
That's
to.
the way it was for me too.
I look around and I look at everything in this house, and it's all her. I see her every day.
Yeah, I was lucky. I got to sell my house to my nephew, who wanted the house from the day we bought it 20 years ago, and he loved it. He's up there now, and it was kind of a easy transition for me, because he took everything of hers and mine and everything and put it all into the metal building, and it's all there anytime that I want to come and do it. But it was the same way. Everything was her, although I didn't feel uncomfortable at all. I felt almost like at ease, but I would wake up a lot. And like I said before, for a split second, I thought she was still here, and I'd be going, oh no, she's gone.
Well, there's times, she used to watch TV in the living room, and I used to watch TV in the bedroom, because, we had different shows we wanted to watch.
Sure.
And I used to, commercial time, I come out and I talk to her and you know, ask her. And I found myself doing that. So I had to quit watching TV in the bedroom, and I don't even watch TV in the living room now. It's mostly YouTube that I'm on. So,
Right.
but
Yeah, I
no,
don't, like I said, I kept my house I just sold it for 3 years, 3 or 4 years. And I guess it depends on, in my mind, what made it, I could do it. If it was something that I, couldn't afford to do, or if I had to go to Thailand, I'd have to sell everything here and wouldn't be able to do, then maybe I would have made different decisions. Thank God I didn't. Because
right.
like I said, I couldn't have orchestrated the end of my life any better than to have my wife. That would have been the only
Oh yeah, yeah.
other deal, and that is impossible. So, like I said, people ask me, well, do you enjoy your life? I mean, my life is awesome. I mean,
Oh, it
I've
looks
got
like
a,
it.
yeah. The only thing that I would Jones for is I'm an ocean guy. If I could be by
I
the
am too.
ocean, yeah, I would check. It would check every box. 9 times out of 10, the women that you would meet here, especially from Isan and stuff like that, they do work. And like I said, you have to kind of be in tune to the way that they function. If you're coming here and you meet a woman and she's working as she's supposed to and takes care of her mom and dad like she's expected to, and gives them, 8,000-10,000 baht a month. If
Right.
you're coming here and say we need to travel and do this, I want to do that. I
Yeah.
feel that you're obligated to
Right. Right.
do it. I think it's logical.
Right.
But if that's not a deal, the women are, at least the women. Like I said, whenever I go to any function, I've got 3, 4, 5, 6 of my friends. She calls them all sisters. They're either cousins or
Right.
friends.
Right.
And they come up to me, can you find me a boyfriend? I'd like a Farang boyfriend. Can you find, and I'm talking women they know me. I'm 66 years old, and you look younger than I do, and you're 70. And they're like, that isn't even an option. We don't care. We want someone that wants to take care of us, love us, give us a better life. And, and why not?
Well,
you know,
I made the mistake in a couple of the bars giving the women my line number.
Yeah, you see, now
Oh
that was
boy.
one thing I never did. I came in 2018, maybe 3 months after she passed. And I went to one bar to meet Rob, 20 Seconds in Thailand, in
Yeah.
Kamala, that White Horse,
Yeah, I
whatever
know who
he
he
used
is.
to
Yeah.
go to. Yeah. And I went in there, and it wasn't really, because I didn't know nothing. I was completely naive to the bar scene, which is, you'd think I'd know everything out of my lifestyle and motorcycles and topless bars and,
Yeah.
going crazy when I was a kid. But I was completely oblivious and went into that one and, only spent a couple of nights. I didn't really hit the bar scene, very, very hard at all. But there was like so many. I met a lot of nice people, period, whether
Oh
they're
yeah.
male or female. My biggest problem, to tell you the truth, I've been with the same woman, and I was true to her, as long as the day is long,
Yep.
and for 30 years. And I in my mind, the whole time when I was with Nitno, we talked back and forth online for, I want to say, 3-4 months before we actually met.
Oh wow.
And it was like something like that, 2 months, something like that. And it was like, I haven't slept with another woman. Am I going to be able to do it? Is it going to freak me out? Am I going to be, is it going to be weird? I guess is what I was thinking.
Sure.
As it turned out, it wasn't. She made it it was real calm, easy. And it wasn't even the first thing. Because in my mind, it was weird.
Well,
probably in your case too. My wife was my best buddy.
Yeah.
I could tell her anything.
Yeah.
And a woman,
I met my wife in 1975, September 75, and we got married the following year in October of 76.
Oh, wow.
And then she passed away in July of 2019. So we were just shy of 43 years of being married. And, we had our issues. We had our ups and downs, but we worked through it and managed to, stick it out together. And what was really sad was when my mom had passed away in 2008. And then my dad passed away in October of 2018. And then I lost my wife in July of 2019.
Wow.
So it was just like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
You know?
Left, right, lefts. Yeah.
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 And,
It was yeah, it was the same. You know, I'd never lost. I lost my uncles when I was a kid.
oh yeah.
Never had a father, so I didn't get to lose a father. My mom's, excuse me, my mom's still alive. But like I said this before, I don't want to ever talk down and say that losing your mother or father is horrible. I don't know. I haven't lost my mother yet, but I'll tell you what. In my mind, when I think back, I left the house when I was 16 and a half, I think, or 16. Sure, my mom raised me. You know, I saw her every night for pretty much that whole time. But the difference to me in my mind is the woman that I lost, I saw every day of my life for 30 years.
Oh yeah.
And it was like,
oh, yeah.
you know, and I'm not trying to, like I say, belittle losing a parent, but I don't know. I'd be curious. To me, it was the most devastating thing I'd ever been through in my life.
Yeah. My dad was 3 days after his 98th birthday.
Oh, wow.
And then his mom had lived to be 100. So,
Oh, wow.
you know, and, you know, I knew it was coming with him. I wasn't, you know, but when my wife got diagnosed with the cancer and we went through the, you know, the chemo and the radiation, and then we went back for a checkup with the you know, the cancer doctor. And this kind of upset me because I didn't, you know, we don't know, you know, is we're not in the medical field, so we don't know. And they did the x-rays and they come back and he's, you know, he's all jolly and everything. I go, well, you know, how's the cancer? Oh, well, they didn't report anything about it, so we must have obliterated it. Well, when she got sick the day after Mother's Day in May, and then ended up spending 51 days in the hospital, and I was there every day, first thing in the morning till late at night. And no, the cancer wasn't gone. It was still there. So I got a little upset over that cancer doctor saying that, you know.
I would be too. I
And,
think you got perfect right to be.
you know, after 51 days, we managed to bring her home, and she spent 21 days. I took care of her every day. She had a trach in her throat. I had to learn how to clean that and do all that. And
That's similar to, well, I only got 7 days at home. I had to go to Stanford. Stanford was, as far as we knew, the best in the world in bone marrow transplants.
right.
So we went there. I had to rent a place, which forget about the price. I mean, up there where they've got Microsoft and all that, one bedroom, nothing was 3,000 or 3,500 a month. But you had to stay within a certain circumference of the hospital. And then when they finally said, okay, you could go ahead and take her home, we had to come back in a week. When we came back in a week, they said, no, we need to keep her here. And 30 days later, she never came home. And that was the hardest part for me. Having to leave that hospital without her
Right.
was absolutely sucked. Luckily my nephew drove home with me because we were 6-hour drive, because I was also dreading if she does pass, because I only found out 3 days that she was definitely gonna die.
Right.
Then to drive home without her too, leave the hospital without her, and then drive home. It sucked, and I still mourn her every single freaking day. And people say, well, you know, no, it doesn't get any easier. You learn how to deal with it.
Right.
And
Well, you
and
know,
that's
there's always going to be a spot in your heart, and there's spots, you know, in your brain that you know, that you've got the filing cabinet there, that whenever you want to, you can access it.
And what I got lucky was, well, I got sick. I got lucky. I got sick. I got sick, and they shoved the tube down my throat, and I was in intensive care for 2 months, if you don't know my whole story.
Yes.
And then I was out in a private room. So I was in the hospital for 3 months. That's why I'm telling everybody out there, get insurance. It cost me $1 million baht to not have insurance. But my wife, or my girlfriend at the time, we had only been together 7 months or something like that. And that's where I realized that if you find a good woman, you can have a life. They were ready. Her mother and father were ready to. They didn't know me from Adam.
Right.
They were ready to sell my wife was ready to sell the truck, and the mom and dad had agreed to, if we have to, we'll sell the house to make sure that he doesn't die.
Well,
After 7 months,
that tells you a lot right there.
Oh yeah,
That
and
tells
she
you
was
a
there
lot.
every day, 3 times a day. She got off, they could come visit me 3 times a day, and the poor woman, when I went in there, I was out of it. They had induced, like a coma thing because I kept trying to pull the thing out and stuff, and she didn't know how to get into my bank accounts, didn't know how to
Right.
get a hold of any of my relatives in
Family.
the state,
Right.
and luckily I had let her borrow my iPhone 7. She had to do voiceovers. She works for the government, TOT, on their phone thing, like, hello, you've reached whatever in Thai. And she wanted to hear it back. So she needed another phone. When I had given her that, I had given her the code to get into it, and
To
she had written
access
it
it.
down. So she did that, found Facebook, found my cousins, found my brother, and she did it all, man.
Right.
She did it
Right.
all.
Right.
So, like I said, in that, from that point on, I knew exactly that I was going to have a way better life than I thought I was. Because if I would have still been at home, not that I go a lot of places here, I sit at home here too much, but I wouldn't have went many places. I think the best thing that I would have done was maybe move up north to a friend of mine in Reading and move closer to some friends because I had no friends there, no family, no nothing. So I probably would have sold and moved. But God, it's so inviting to be able to come here. Now, granted, my wife got a loan because I get trolled and said that, oh, you're going to lose everything. My wife got loans and her land, right? But we built this house. If you've seen any of my videos,
Sure.
from scratch and up for under 100 grand, the whole place, and to stay here now and what 37, 38 bought to the dollar. That's what makes it. Plus, like I said, when I said I wanted to retire, my criteria was always I want to swim in the ocean on
Right.
Christmas and New Year's. If I can do that, that's where I want to be. And it isn't like I always tell it, come for 3 months, 6 months, and just check it out. Like you had said, you were in Havasu for 6 months, and you said, no, this isn't where I want to be.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. God, there's just so many options for especially men that are between 50 and 100 that are retired because, like I said before, it isn't like they're money. Are they money hungry women out there? Yeah, there are.
Oh,
They're
sure.
all over the planet. They're
They're
everywhere.
here.
They're not just here. They're everywhere.
Sure.
But if you they want to know if you're retired is a big thing. And what I found out was they want to know if you're retired because if you're retired and you're just getting a pension and Social Security, let's say you're from the States, and let's say you're getting you have a $2,500 a month retirement from wherever you worked, and let's say you got a 1,800
Sure.
dollars from that, 4,000 US dollars to them is rich.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not way out of line, but they know that you being retired can support them. Not in, buy me this, buy me that. Have a good life, vacation, go places, see things, have a good life. I mean, even my daughters now, which are her daughters, as soon as I married her, they were mine,
Right.
just the way I am. But
Sure.
they said we would never have, asking her mom,
Right.
we would never have a life like this without Dave, right?
Right.
And her mom said,
Right.
no, never.
Well,
So
something I learned. Somebody, I can't remember who it was that I was either talking to him or I don't know. It could have been one of the YouTubers. He said, if you find a woman that doesn't ask you for money, that's the one you want to latch on to.
yeah, exactly. My wife never asked me for a dime.
Yeah.
Never. Never.
Yeah.
And then like that, a lot of people ask, and I forget the name of it, but whatever the dowry type
Mhm.
thing. And
Right.
I think it depends. I didn't. My mother-in-law and father-in-law never asked for anything. I think it depends on the people, and it depends on their age and children. You probably have a more of a tendency if you're. See, I wasn't looking for a 21-year-old that wanted to go out, 7 nights a week until 3 in the
Right.
morning with the bump, bump, bump music and drink. I
Right.
did that. Been there, done that.
We
I
did
don't
that
need
years
that.
ago.
Yeah, yeah. So, my wife was absolutely perfect. Go to bed at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. She works, 5 days a week. It was perfect for me, what I was looking for. But they, you know, I think there's a lot of them out there that that could give a lot of people, especially in our age group. You know, like I said, I was weird, and I don't mean anything bad about American women, Western women, whatever. It when I looked at my wife, she was 60 when she passed. I knew her for 30 years, 40 years, you know, whatever. That
Sure.
she always looked beautiful to me.
She looked
She
the
never looked
same.
old.
Even
Yeah, she never looked old.
even though she had aged, to you
Right.
she still looked the
She was
same.
the same. Now when I go up and when I after I got off, I knew that eventually I wanted to be not necessarily didn't have to be a relationship, whatever. I wanted to be friends with a woman because I wanted a woman's. I've been talking to my best friend who was a woman for 30 years, so I wanted a companion of
Yeah.
some sort. But it was like, man, in my mind, I'm still 35 years old, and when I look at a 65-year-old woman, I'm going, no, that's like my grandma. You know, that's not for me. And I don't want any women to feel bad. You know, it isn't. It's just in my mind. That's what I see. And when I see my wife, she was 38 or 39 when we met. She's 42, I think now, or 43. She's beautiful. And Asian women, as far as I'm concerned, I was always attracted to, and they always look younger to me. You know, you get an Asian woman that's 55 and she looks like she's 35.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
so
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
so that made a difference to me. But my biggest thing was if I could find a companion, didn't have to be sexual, didn't have to be, just a good person I could have fun with and go out, and then whatever it worked into, I would have been fine with that. Hey, I'm basically there. I like you. You're a nice person. I don't want
Right.
to marry you. I don't want to do anything, but I'd sure like to
Spend time
tour
with you.
around with you. We have a good time. I wouldn't have had a problem with that. My thing was with Nitnoy, even if she would have said that to me, which she says she loved me, I look at myself and go, "You're a crazy woman." But that's her deal. But it's it was like um, I I I don't. If she would have took that stance with me, hey, I just want to be friends. I want to stay with you. I would have still married her because I wanted somebody. I had a third retirement that was transferable. Okay, granted, I had to take. I only worked for the UCSF for the union, Operating Engineers Union, for 7 years, and in that time, they were going to give me, I think it was $1,800 or $1,900 a month for the rest of my life when I turned 65, which was just last year. But if my wife, I could take it down to, they just started getting like 1,400 or something. And then when I pass, my wife gets over two times what she makes with the government for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Because
See,
you
I
can't,
don't
in case,
know on
go ahead.
my retirement. I don't know whether if I got married again that they'd be able to get any of it
Yeah,
because
there was in mine, it was a deal that you could take less now. So if they're paying, let's say
well, I
they're
already
paying you
did that.
2,000
I took less when we both retired, and just so
because
she
you
would have
retired
had,
early.
yeah, so she could have
Yeah,
had the full amount. I took a little
right.
less, but
I see.
I think with mine's CalPERS, and I'm not sure. I don't think that if I remarried that she could get any of it because she wasn't there when I earned it.
All right.
There's
Yeah, see,
some of the,
mine wasn't, but I had to be married to her for a year, which we got married legally before we actually had the party and the house
oh, okay.
blessing and all that first. We got married because I knew I wanted that, and I wanted it before I croaked because it makes me sleep at night. People come, you're an idiot. The trolls. You're an idiot. Taking all your money, doing this. You know what? Kiss wherever the sun don't shine. But I don't care about that. It makes me happy because I can
Yeah.
go to
Well,
sleep at night, and I know that everybody that I've come to love here in my Thai family will be taken care of after I'm gone.
well, that's
And
it. Even if all
yeah,
you did was build the house and, you know, whatever money that you've been able to stick away for them, even
right.
if they didn't get anything after you passed, at least you left
Yeah,
them that, you
exactly.
know?
But I figured I'm in a position that I have other incomes, so it wasn't like that difference, that extra 400 or or whatever it was, I can't remember, didn't make a difference. But it did make a difference in her life. I mean, to where she could get,
Sure.
just by being alive, make twice as much money as she's making now. She'll stay working though. My wife's a fanatic. She's a crazy woman. But it does. Like I said, I guess the biggest thing that I want to get across to anybody that watches this, even if they watch a repeat of it, is it the toughest thing you'll ever go through in your life? Sure. I can't say no. It's easy. It's a piece of cake. No, it's horrible.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle.
Oh, it is. But I'll tell you what, man, I never thought that I would love a woman again. And I do love my wife with all my heart. But the thing I got lucky on too was when I was going to tell this story earlier, when I was in the hospital, she came home and prayed to this one every night and said, please, if you can help him, make sure he doesn't die. Don't let him die. Don't let him die. So she thinks that my wife got us to find each other, and she's also her guardian angel. So when I do stupid stuff like tell my wife happy birthday on Facebook, and rest in peace on the day she died, whatever I say, I don't get any shit for it. I don't hear, well, you love her more than me, or you loved it. No,
right,
non-existent.
Right.
Which makes it so much
She understands how many years you spent with her.
She's a smart woman now. She's college educated. She's a very good woman. And like I said, and all of her friends and relatives are beautiful women in the same age group. And what are they looking for? They're looking for old farts like this to make a life with. And it's like, they're not asking, like I said, my wife never asked for anything. Not even to this day. Now she'll say, I give her a set amount of money every month to run the whole house. I don't want to be bothered. Here's a lump sum. You take care of all the crap. I don't want to
pay the bills.
I don't want to be bothered. Yeah, I don't want to be bothered. So I do that, and I do give her mom a chunk of money, not because I have to, because I want to.
Sure.
And the reason that is she's a seamstress. She's got arthritis in her hands and wrists worse than I do. And she works her ass off. She's my age too. We're both the same age, but she does. So she doesn't have to work. I give her 8,000 baht. I'm pretty open about everything that I do in my life here on YouTube. My friends say I'm too much open, but I don't care. I'm transparent. But because they came. Now they didn't know. They met me twice, right, or 3 times or whatever in that 7 to 8 month period. When I went from now they came even with my girlfriend at the time, and her kids came to see me in there, and when I got out and I went to a private room, it's weird. The private room in the private hospital here in Surin, it's a big room. It's like $1,200 or $1,500 or baht a day, plus whatever medications and stuff you're going to get. But there's a bed in there, and my wife would come, girlfriend, and stay there with me all night. And there had to be somebody in the room to watch you. The nurses are there, but they need somebody that you run out and you go, nurse, he can't breathe, or nurse, he needs, whatever. So you need to have that. And I hired, which is the price of things are incredible. The RNs that took care of me in ICU, the ones that had when they circulated on their days off, would come at 8 o'clock when my wife needed to go to work till 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 500 baht. Right.
Well,
RN,
it's like,
right?
I mean, if you really look at some of these Thai women, look at Thai girl Gift from Foreigner Joe.
Right.
I mean, when he came back from Germany to live there in Thailand, he ended up having that shoulder surgery.
Right.
And her family, man, was all over that. I mean, she was there, her mother was there, making sure that he was getting the best treatment.
Yeah. Well, what it was is that I needed somebody to come in between that 3 and 5:30 when my wife would get back. Her mom and dad don't speak a lick of English, nothing. Came in there and took care of me, whatever they had to do for that month. So when I was in there, I asked my wife, I said, what does your mom make? Does she make? It was some ridiculous. She seamstress, makes all this stuff. You'd say, oh, maybe she does pretty good now. didn't make nothing.
No,
So
they
I gave
don't.
her
They don't.
8,000 baht, and now she's on top of the world because her best friends are a police husband and wife. They're both police that have helped my Thai family and my wife out forever. Right now, my mother-in-law can go out to lunch with her, take her and pay for lunch, and what she's never been able to do. The policeman always paid, always paid.
Sure.
So she's on top of the world. And is it a big deal? I don't even know how much that is now with the exchange rate. Couple, I don't know, $200, $300, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it all depends. But they never asked me for anything. And to get back to that dowry thing, I think it makes a difference if they are 25 years old, no children, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Then it's like here, if they're 40 years old with 3 kids and, then it's down, if they ask for anything.
Right.
But you
right.
just got to be, it's being logical. If the woman, like you said, if the woman's going, God, I've known you for 10 minutes. Can you give me 100,000 baht? Maybe you want to go on to the next one and see what he has to say.
Let's skip this one.
Yeah. But that was the biggest thing with me was one thing. I think I'm 35. So the Asian women are younger, definitely
right.
Pleasing to the eye, no doubt. Are they in abundance? Yeah, if you can't find a nice woman here in Thailand, there's something the matter with you besides just being old. So, it's easy to do. That was my thing. And the exchange rate when I first came was 29.
Oh, boy.
29. That's when I first came in 2000, the end of 2018. And because I remember that's how the million baht that I had to pay. But could you imagine being in ICU for 2 months? What that was like $30,000 then. What that would have been if it would have been in the United States would have been in the millions.
Well, I can tell you right now, my wife's cancer, her treatments for the chemo and the radiation, her 51 days in the hospital, 21 days here at home with hospice care and everything was about $750,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's what they did with my wife. When she had hers, when you get to a certain, and your wife probably experienced the same thing, after they completely tried to kill you and you were this much alive, then now your immune system is gone.
Sure.
And they had to put her in a room by herself, positive pressure room. So, nothing. You had to suit up.
I've seen plenty of those.
Yeah, had to go in. And I'll tell you what, man, I can't say enough for Stanford. First off, there was my wife had, when she was in there during all this time, she had a little heart problem. She had 2 or 3 medical doctors, entourages that would see her every day. She had 2 or 3 physical therapists, 8 different nurses that had taken care of her for that time in the hospital. And when we were in there, the day that we found out that they came in and said, no, you would take her off the antibiotics. She maybe last 4 days, 5 days. If we don't, maybe a couple of days and she'll be done. And I kind of looked at her. I said, you don't want to hang, right? You done? She said, no, I'm done. I said, okay. They came into that room one by one to say goodbye to my wife.
Wow.
Personally. Went up there, held her hand, said, Miss Nona, we just want to say it's been a pleasure taking care of you. Those people were awesome. Awesome. Stanford was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, when my wife was in, they were actually over medicating her. They had so many different people that was prescribing medicine. She was over medicated. And then we finally got this one doctor. I think he was, I'd say he was Hispanic, if I remember right. He goes, I want everything off. I want to take everything off, except for some of the antibiotics, but all the pain pills, all the medication, all this stuff, because she wasn't responsive. And within a day of their taking her off of all this stuff, her eyes open, she started to speak to us. It was like, why did we do this to begin with?
When they decided to take everything off, I said they were going to keep her comfortable. And I said, comfortable's fine. Incoherent is not. Right. I don't want the last 2 days that I'm going to spend with my wife to where she doesn't understand a word I'm saying and I don't understand anything. So they kept her right on the edge of being coherent, but not in any pain. And I asked her that many times. And she was like I said, it helped me because if she would have been, oh my God, I'm going to die and crying and all this, I would have lost it.
Oh yeah. Oh
I would have
sure.
went over the edge. I saw one tear come out of her eye. She was really a religious lady. I asked her questions numerous times. You in any pain? Nope. Are you scared? Nope. I know exactly where I'm going. I know what's going to happen.
There you go.
I said, okay. And so I
Yeah.
mean, she did a lot of shit for me. She told her sister, I'm worried about Dave. After I'm gone, what's he gonna do? She's not worried she's dying, So of course I was married 3 times. The first 2 times were 9 months apiece. And then on the third time I found the right
Third
one.
time's the charm,
Yeah, and the fourth turned out to be okay
Yeah.
too.
I think
But
my only problem right now with the whole idea of maybe packing all this in and taking off for Thailand, I do have 2 daughters that live down. Actually, they both live down by Time to Get Going, Bobby.
right, okay.
Right down. One's real close, I guess, to where he's at. The other one lives over by the Pomona Fairgrounds. But then my son lives on down in near Temecula on a avocado ranch that he's running.
I got a whole bunch of family that moved down there. I want to say 35 years ago. I want to say half the family. I probably have 20 or 30 relatives down there in Temecula. What's the other name of down that
Marietta,
area? They like
Marietta. Yeah. He's on top of the hill in Marietta.
Let's see if anybody, because I haven't paid any attention to any of the questions. So if anybody's got some questions for either me or Mike, or would like to hear our opinion on anything, chime in. I thought I saw Logan left. Who else left? Dr. Practice Medicine. I haven't got it right yet. Raymond, off to see the hooligans. All right. Paul's a teacher, so that's why he's saying the hooligans. Lived outside of Temecula for years. Small town called, what I can't even pronounce it. I can't see it, let alone pronounce it. Agua something. Agua. I don't know.
Agua Dulce? Where is it at?
That's where I was from. Agua Dulce is where I had 3 homes there during my marriage.
Agua. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Agua Gana. Anyway.
But I think with my daughters, the son, it won't bother him a bit. They're actually from my wife's first marriage.
Right.
2 of the kids. And I think the one that would have the hardest problem would be my youngest one. She's 30. She could be 39, I think, or is 39. Yeah, because when I made the plans on this trip when I went to Thailand, she goes, well, Dad, I don't know what happens. What if something happens to you? I wouldn't know what to do. And I says, well, if I die, just have them cremate me and put me in the ocean. That's simple, And,
yeah, it's not a.
Well, but, and then she jokingly, she goes, well, if you move to Thailand, well, I'm not going to come visit you. I says, you live 35 minutes from me and you don't come visit me now. It's been, well, let's see. The wife passed July. They came up that Christmas of 19. So they haven't been back to the house since then. Oh, no, I take that back. 2020, they came up in April. That was it.
All right. Yeah, like I said, you think about it because I did the same thing. It's like, yeah, well, I don't know. I got 5 grandkids with there. So it 6, yeah. So, but it, like I said, if you have the ability to come back, I found when I was doing it every 3 months when I first started doing it, because I was here on a tourist visa,
right?
And so I would fly back and I would go to LAX, go to my mom's house, go down. You could drop off your passport in the morning, pick it up at 3:00. You'd have my new visa in there, and I'd be ready to go. And then I'd spend 2 weeks there bumming around, seeing friends and family. And I found that like I said, at the end of 3 or 4 months, it would be nice to actually see somebody face to face. But during that other time, that 3 or 4 months, I got by with just talking to my friends on like we are, now, right. And it was okay. But I understand sometimes people don't have money to fly, 3 times a year back and forth. But if you do, at least me, Mike Jones, I don't know. Like I said, I'm a firm believer in Thailand. There's people out there that say, "Oh no, it's not that great a place," and I mean, what more could you possibly want when you can have stuff like this if you want it? You
Right.
can be overlooking the ocean,
Right.
and wow, if you're up on the, in Pattaya or Jantiem, especially the way things are now, I don't know, 18, 20,000 baht, up on the 20th floor, 180-degree view of the ocean for, I don't even know, what is that, $600 a month?
Yeah.
It's like, it's where, off the top of my head, a lot of people say, well, how come you don't go to Mexico and stuff like that? I liked Mexico,
Oh,
but, I didn't have any problem with Mexico except for the government, and the cartel could scare people off,
well, now it's
you
gotten
know.
worse. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, what people say, oh well, it's not that great, the government here. I think the government's fine. How am I going to call the kettle black, being from the U.S., saying your government isn't as good as mine when I don't have any faith in mine. That's why
Yeah.
I figure I say I live here in Thailand now. Whatever happens to everybody back there, that's fine. But I don't know. Like I say to every time I talk about it, come for 3 to 6 months. Anybody out there that's looking, and see if it's for you. Like I said, it's not like I can't think of one thing like oh God, no, yeah, the it's too cheap to live. I just hate it here. I'm gonna go home. I don't see any real downsides. I mean, there's people to meet. People talk badly about YouTube, and I say, man, I wouldn't have met anybody.
Well,
Wouldn't have met
the
Chuck
YouTube,
and
YouTube's a
Joe
great
and
community.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these
YouTube's a
people,
great
and when
community.
you meet people like Chuck and Joe and James and people in here, Tom, they're all exactly like you see them. Greatest guys in the world. Nicest people you ever want to meet. And me, if I wouldn't have found YouTube, put it that way, I'd have been sitting. I'd probably be dead. But I probably, if I did meet my wife and came here, I'd be in Surin. I haven't been down to. There's people to go talk to here. I'm waiting for Bobby to come because
Yeah.
he's coming to Surin. So I have somebody. I keep on trying to get, throw digs at Jai. Yeah, you need to retire. Let's get this crap moving. And I know Bobby wants to, but they will. It'll be probably next year, but that'll be cool. But like I said, I don't know. It was weird for me. First off, like I said, it wasn't that I felt totally uncomfortable in the house. I didn't feel like, oh my God, I don't want to be here. This is horrible. I didn't like waking up. I'd wake up 10 times a night. It's just the way that I sleep. And, and every time I woke up, it was like, oh no, she's gone.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
she's gone. So it's like, it was a no brainer for me. I'd been there for 2 weeks. I knew kind of what to expect as far as the heat and the humidity and this and that. 'Cause I spent 8 months in Costa Rica, which is almost the exact same climate.
Well,
And
the heat and the humidity, and I mean, I was there with the rain and everything. Didn't bother me a bit.
yeah, like
I
I
was
said,
just going down there to Mexico, to Playa del Carmen and Playa Car and Cancun, and 90 and 90.
yeah, exactly. That's the last place that I went on a vacation with this one was to Cancun.
Mm.
We had a good time, real nice time. But like I said, was a no brainer for me. I'd be really surprised if somebody came here and stayed and said, "Don't like it." I've never heard those words. Like out of the people. Now obviously I don't know everybody, but
Right.
it's just like I said. I think in my brain, okay, cost of living. If I was here, and me, it was nice too that I didn't have to sell my house. So I always had that in my brain until I got to where I knew I was going to be here and married my wife, of course. It was like, okay, I don't need that anymore. I was in the position that I could keep a place that I could bail out to if everything went to shit. I could still go back, back home, so it did help a little bit. But let's see if anybody else has any. Hey, Carl, how you doing? Sometimes I get rambling and
Oh, I do
forget.
too. I do too.
But it's nice here, man. Like I said, well, like I said, I would. Your position sounds like you're actually in a better position than most. Even Jake, his dad's ill. He can't go anywhere. He can come here and visit, and that's what he's going to do. But yours, you sound like it's manageable. I just didn't. I could see it differently if you had all the friends that you had in Havasu or something like that were real close to you. Then I could say, okay, man, maybe I'd miss my friends and stuff, but I don't know. There is a life here, man. It's like, and the thing is, like I said, it's the woman thing too. And like I said, it wasn't a sexual thing. It was like, I just want to bounce something
You
off
need a
somebody besides
companion.
some
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that
I
was
want
like,
something else.
that was like, I was a little bit worried about making that first trip down, to Thailand, because when her and I ever traveled, I'd throw things off of her and say, hey, what do you think about this? You think we ought to try this, or we should go this way or do that? I mean, we drove from here in California. We went all the way down to New Orleans, across through the panhandle of Texas. Panhandle of Florida, all the way up to Boston. Went through D.C., New York, Boston, up a part of New York to where my family was originally from. Ended up through Canada, down around through Michigan, out across. I mean, we covered 7,900 miles. And I think she only threw the iPad at me once, because she was supposed to be my navigator and she wasn't doing too good.
Yeah, my wife always was too, and she was never any good at it either. I hear some people, friends, that said, "Oh, my wife does great." Now, I wasn't lucky enough. See, Ron says I'm not talking enough. You're full of shit. But like I said, I don't know. Sounds like you're in a pretty good position. It sounds like you like Thailand.
I did. In fact, I did. I just shot some video today. I was coming back and I was talking about the drivers here in Southern California and comparing them to the drivers in Thailand. I said, yeah, Thailand's a little, it's a little crazy the way they drive and everything, but I don't see the accidents there that I see here everywhere.
Yeah, no kidding.
These people here can't drive. They run into each other on a dry day,
It was where they now I can almost predict what they're going to do, and I'm talking about the Thais.
Yes,
I can almost predict that this guy's going to cut me off, and sure enough, he'll cut me
pulling
off.
out. He's going to pull out in front of you.
I'm not. It took me a long time. I used to be short-tempered, and you have to be sabai here. You got to be. Yep. That's just the way that you have to be. And it's like, well, okay, so the guy cut me off, and God, I'm not going to get to my destination 10 seconds later than I thought. Do I care? I'm retired and I'm in Thailand. No, I don't give a shit. I'm going to have a good time. I'm not going to get mad, although I do occasionally, and my wife gives me the evil eye. They just don't do that. Thai people don't engage. They do rarely, but they don't want anything. And like I said, you go to immigration's a nightmare. You got to do this and that. Why? If you're retired, I do it once a year for my retirement visa. Right. I go in there. Now I know my wife's got everything down. It's got a packet of stuff this thick, whatever they want, she's got. And we know how to do it. But even before, you're going to have to come back tomorrow. I need this piece of paper. Okay. Come back. It took me 2 days this time to pay 1,900 baht so $50 to stay here for a year. Oh, that's horrible.
Wow.
Because I'm so. Why? I mean, I'm retired. Granted, if you're high strung, and like I said, I saw a couple of foreigners just screaming at immigration guys. And me and my wife are looking at each other, laughing, going. They're just shaking their heads and smiling, and the Thai wife is trying to apologize for this guy going off, and me and my wife both look at each other and. This guy's never going to get anything he wants here.
Something in the short period of time I was there, something that I learned is it's the way they do it. You just have to roll with it. You can't get upset.
No,
you can't come.
If you got that, if you've got that outlook, you're in good shape. There's Bobby. Time to get going. Glad you can make it, Bobby. And I saw Daz too, didn't I? Did I see Daz? Daz, did I see it? Yeah. Just have to shake your head. Yeah, exactly. And that's if you have that kind of attitude, you got no problem. Like I said, I've even been where I've seen people getting upset, and when I first did it by myself, no wife, no one to interpret anything, and just go, okay, well, wait, I was here yesterday. You told me you wanted these 3 papers. Yeah, but I need this other one too. I said, okay. And they looked at me, and because I had said okay, I took my hat off when I was in there. I was very respectful.
Mm-hmm.
Guy goes, hey, listen, come here. He goes, go right around the corner here, make a left, go down 1 block, and on the left-hand side, the man will put together for you. You could be back here in 10 minutes, I'll get it done for you. Boom. So if you're decent to them,
Oh yeah.
they give you, you receive tenfold always.
Well,
Not just
the
works with your wife.
saying, you get back what you give, and if you
Yeah,
give
it's
something
great.
nice, you get it back nice,
Hey,
But
CJ, haven't seen you in a while. Before CJ had just got, if you guys aren't subscribed, subscribe to CJ in Paradise. He had just gotten to 1,000, has no idea why YouTube took his channel down, and he's trying to come back. It was a month
oh
ago.
man.
You ever find out why? I would be pissed. Hey, Richard, I was going to say hi. I haven't seen. I saw you earlier. How you doing? Yeah, CJ, man, I feel for you, brother. It's hard enough to get to something to have them grab it. To get to 100 subscribers, I never thought I'd find 100 people that even had a inkling
Yeah.
to want to know what I thought. Then when I got to 1,000, it was like, wow. So it's fun. Let's see what Joe's time. Where did Joe go? Joe, you had a question. Everybody's saying hello. Mike, if you would move to Thailand, where would it be?
Wow. Well, being that I haven't seen enough of the country, I really don't know. I'm kind of like I like being along the water somewhere. I do like that. I don't know about Pattaya, man. I guess if I stayed on the dark side or back up in further from the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a little too much for me. Woo! If people ask me, I would say the places that I've been that I like, it's my speed, would be over where Joe is in Pachuca, Burican. It's nice over there.
See, that might be a little too slow.
Yeah, but Hua Hin or Hu Hin, however you want to say it, is an hour from there, or even there would be fine. Yeah. Any place from Hua Hin down to where Joe, there's a lot of places to go. In fact, Chuck, I forget the name of the one place that's actually before Hua Hin that he was going to go to. But anyway, there's a lot of nice places over there. And like you saw with Joe thing, what did Mike get and them get the under $300 for a 2-bedroom right there?
Oh my God, it's like 200 from the water. And I commented on their video. I said, man, they had to give you a discount with all the money you're putting in the house. And that's when he come back and says, I think my rent's like $200 a month. I go, okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Hey, traveler, haven't seen you in a while. I have a bad attitude here in Southern California. I'm coming to some get out of here.
If you're living in Southern California, you're going to have a bad attitude at times, especially if you're working.
I did. Let's see, who's saying Ron? Richard saying working on the next show now. Good stuff. Who you having on next week? Do you know yet? Some funny videos. Well, must not be me then. Let's see. Everybody's saying hi to Traveler. Traveler's a good guy. He's got a wife that's ill and can't get here because of her condition. She can't get on a plane or she has to have special care. So we're all rooting for him to find a way. He's got plenty of money to retire. Both him and his wife want to come to Thailand and retire, and they can't get here, which is a bummer. Hey, Gary, how you doing? Let's see.
Well, like I said, it's funny. I never thought about Thailand till after my wife passed, and I got on. I was looking to try to plan a trip somewhere, and I just kind of stumbled, on Thailand. I had looked at the Philippines. I followed the Filipino P and some of the people there, and then I happened to, like I said, I don't know who I found first, whether I found Chuck or I found Joe or I found James, one of them, and then I found you when you guys did the motorcycle ride.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was ET that told me about you, and said, and I knew why once I went over and listened to your first 10 minutes of the video. I met Chuck was probably Chuck and Rob 20 Seconds in Thailand, and more. I like Chuck videos. I like Rob's videos. They were okay too, but I liked what I was seeing behind Rob being Kamala.
Oh yeah. I follow him. I really liked him too. Yeah.
I really liked Kamala. Let's see. Some Pit and Kenny says we are looking at Pachuca before Joe moved there because it has it all. But in the end, we will build near family and then travel and visiting. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to build and stuff, family land, as far as I'm concerned, is the only way to go. A lot of people will say don't, why do you want to live in Nissan or what? I got no problem with Nissan. In fact, traveling, if I could travel, I have no problem living here. I love my house. I'd like to have more land, but if you can travel, it's a little bit better and easier. If my wife wasn't working, it would be easier for me. Let's see what.
Yeah, I think the water down there at Camelot would be a lot better,
Yeah, a lot better than it is.
Because
That was my, being able to get up in the morning,
yep,
at sunrise, because I'm an early riser. I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I am too.
And on my scooter and down to the coast, and the sun's coming up, and I either go snorkeling, swimming, just sit there, whatever, smoke a pack of cigarettes. I was a smoker then, but thank God I don't do that now. Although I've been jonesing lately. It's been 3 years now. It was amazing. I could lose 40 kilo and stop smoking. Just have them put a tube down your throat for 2 months, and you're off and running. But I haven't started smoking again. I've been eating, obviously.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. Without having those cigarettes,
it's the habit.
Yeah, it just comes back, man. Because every time that I would actually go to eat something, 9 out of 10 times I would smoke a cigarette instead. Now I don't have that option, so I just eat. So
yeah, I quit 39, almost 40 years ago. I quit smoking.
Wow. I wish I could have. My heroin. I've been smoking since I was 14.
Yeah, I started young too,
Yeah, 50 some odd years. But you know what? I can still breathe. Tom, that would be great. I did not know if I could mention your channel last week, but you probably knew I was talking about you. So Tom's coming on? What did I miss? I missed something. Brock's here too, so we'll let Brock in on this. We'll make it a 3-way battle. Let's see. Have you guys got any questions for Mike? By all means, stick them in here. And let's see. Because I haven't talked to Brock since he's been. I haven't talked to you since you've been in Thailand. Look at it.
No, I've been a tad busy.
How could you shave this time of year? You got who's going to play Santa Claus? No.
I don't have much choice. I was just arrived Wednesday evening, and Thursday morning I was wheeled into the barber shop next door.
So you didn't have much to say about it? They
No.
Did it for you? Oh, let's see. I dipped tobacco for 55 years. Wow. You just stopped, right? I already gained 18 pounds. I'll tell you what, man. I've always been big, but now it just goes. And I don't know about anybody else, but I'm going to be 66 years old. It isn't as easy to lose weight as when I was I was 40. Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, 66. Mere pup.
Yeah, that's right. Brock's the older gentleman. Mike's you're 70, right, Mike?
Be 72 in March.
Oh wow, okay. How old are you, Brock?
70.
70.
I got him.
Yeah, wow.
March of 1951.
Yeah, October 52.
There you go.
Let's see if anybody's asking anything. I gotta get new glasses. Going to stop eating tonight, so plenty of.
Well, one of the things I found out when I was after I'd quit smoking, I was probably 2 years later. I was standing talking to a guy, and I reached up in my top pocket to get a cigarette, and I kind of grabbed my chest, and he goes, "Well, what's wrong?" I says, "I just reached for a cigarette." He goes, "Well, you don't smoke." I says, "No, I haven't had one in a couple of years, but just the habit."
I'll tell you what, I would never, when I was younger, my wife would go out to buy shirts, and she knew that if she came home with it, if it didn't have a pocket, I wouldn't wear it. And for the past, it's been 3 years now, I haven't worn a T-shirt that had a pocket.
No, back then, I think it was J.C. Penney's T-shirts.
Yeah. Sears. And
had to be a white one,
Yeah. Let's see. Some kid says, Ron John, in the end, after I die, the wife will have the home near her family, and that was the end goal. Yeah. I mean, like I said, my wife's family land is in Ubon, and that's the next place. After the backyard here is done, like I said, I got to do a video on it. The one that I just put out, The pond in the back, I'm ready to have some trucks come in and fill that pond. It's painted, sealed, ready to go. And the last one I put out was just day 13, I think. So I'm going to do another one today that'll actually show that front one too. But the pool, they're putting in the bottom slab right now. So I'm ready to go. But next, after that's done, I'm only building up until the end of next year. When I'm done with the end of next year, whatever's finished is finished, and I'm done with building. So, but I do want to go to Ubon and do that. And it's all for me.
That looks like a lot of maintenance.
It isn't. The pool is small, so it isn't that bad. The pond, the way that I have it set up, I built a big sand filter that I converted into a plastic media filter. So that's just a backflush, one valve over. I put in the drains in the bottom of this multi-bayed deal. All it does is go through Japanese mat into a moving bed and into a pump section and go. And I've got two backy towers on the ass end of it, and those are pretty self-cleaning. They're coming off the end of that filter run, and in the top of them they've got a sieve screen. So I'm going to say the maintenance on the pond is going to be maybe a half hour, 45 minutes once a week, and the pool about the same. I'm hoping. If it comes, there's, like I said, that's another thing. If you're in Thailand, these guys that are working in the backyard are happy to be working.
Oh yeah,
they're working for 400 baht, $10.52 a day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They're getting paid. And so if I had to hire somebody to come and clean my pool, or for that matter, to do the pond stuff, I couldn't imagine it would be very much money.
No.
But and they're happy. I'm going to give them. They've been really going like gangbusters on this final deal. So my wife said, "What do you want to give them for Christmas and stuff?" I said, "I'll leave that up to you. So she's going to do something on the higher end of stuff. Let's see. Let's do to support my mental health. My mental health's pretty good. Thanks, Joe. You're the best. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, Mike, I've only been a few places. I've been to Hawaii. I've been to Mexico.
Yeah.
I've been to Costa Rica. Costa Rica is about the closest thing to here. It was a little bit on the expensive side, even back in 2015. Although the housing was fairly competitive, I could get a 2-bedroom condo, 2 blocks from the beach, small condo, for $500 US dollars. But the infrastructure and everything here, even the roads. I mean, you could say there's some of them are, but I've been on a lot of roads here, even on the bike, and they were fine. But their internet, everything like that, the people, not that the people in Costa Rica, they were quite smiley themselves. They were a good bunch of people, but I probably had closer to speaking Spanish than I'm ever going to get to speak Thai. There's no way. I've been here 4 years, and I could say "Sawati krap." That's it. A couple of things. Sabai, and it's just way too complicated for this 66-year-old.
Yeah,
to grab onto. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm glad I got my wife. Yeah, but if like I said, I'm a firm believer. There's people on here that'll tell you that but I would say, just to make sure, come for 3 or 6 months. You can get a place for, I'm going to say, a decent place in John TM, which I think is kind of a centrally located place. God, if you don't care about being on the 18th floor and a view, I don't know, 10,000-12,000 baht, a month on a 3 or 6 month deal. I don't know. It's a no-brainer for me. And like I said, I don't know. I'm if anybody cares about my opinion, I say come to Thailand. But that's my deal, because I've had such good fortune here. How do you weigh the quality of life I have? I mean, could I have found that any other place? Could I have found that if I stayed in the U.S.? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Dave's talking shit. Actually, it's Thailand's a terrible place to be.
Yeah, horrible place. Please don't come. Please don't come. Here's Storekeeper. I met Storekeeper in at the meetup. How you doing? Good to see you. Glad you could stop by. That was a fun deal. We didn't talk about that too much, but that was a lot of fun. But like I said, it's not. God, I don't know what the airline tickets are a little bit pricier now, but in February, I could get on right now. I could get a flight on Eva Air from Bangkok to LAX for $800 round trip. So I mean,
that's flying the red eye, right?
I don't know the times on it. I think so. A lot of them are different time. But me, I'll sleep. I don't care. I'm hung. I've been here for 3 years now, and I'm just now getting to the point where I'm on Thai time. When I was going back every 3 months, you never seen anybody so screwed up time wise than me. I was like, do I go to sleep? Do I wake up? What the hell do I do? I didn't have a clue.
It took me a little over a week when I got to Thailand to get off of, California time.
Right.
And then when I come back, it took me another week to get back off of Thai time,
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, it's just, it depends. Like I said, I don't know I think when I did it, I was thinking about what am I going to do staying here in the Sierras by the lake, don't know anybody. What am I going to do? I'm going to either travel to see my friends that are 5-6 hours away, or I'm going to just sit here in the house, maybe go to the lake and go for a swim or, whatever. And I got a big ass house. I'm on 5 acres. I got to take care of all this shit. I didn't want nothing to do with it.
Well, that's like we just had a big storm blow through here yesterday and last night. And I mean, we're talking some gale force winds. We had trees going down. We had, a lot of other things. And then it snowed. So this morning we got up, I had to clear the snow just because I had to go down to the dentist, and I'm looking at all the mess out there that I've got to go clean up. And I'm going, man, do I really want to do this anymore?
Like I said, okay. I would check it out.
I moved up here in 2007 and even up to when I retired. Okay, no problem. But now,
Well, when I was there with my wife, we had a rental property on there, but we didn't. Did we rent it out back then? I don't think we rented it out back then. But she took a lot of the crap. Oh well, Bill from church's son wants to earn $30 and come over and clean our property. Okay, have him come over. So she had a lot more ins with the people in the area because she knew that, if I could hire somebody, I was gonna hire somebody. I ain't getting out. I bought her a tractor. My wife loved to play around on shit, and she would go all over and do stuff. But it was a lot to take care of. And then when I was by myself, I just, like I said, I was staring at 4 walls, going, okay, maybe I'll take a motorcycle ride and go for a motorcycle ride.
Yep.
Come back and okay, now what? Go to the movies. Okay, maybe I'll go to the movies. It was like here, I get up and it doesn't really matter. I don't care. I'm going to have coffee and maybe I'm going to go back to sleep. Maybe I'll get on the scooter and go meet some people for, you could do whatever flicks your switch, and there's more stuff to do. And I don't know. I didn't think I could beat the scenery, the climate. I don't care if I ever see snow again in my life. It's not a big deal to me.
Yeah.
Although I was perfect. I was at just a little bit over 3,000 feet. On a typical year, we'd get maybe a little bit of snow twice a year, maybe 8 inches or so, and it'd be gone in 3 days. So you'd go, isn't this nice?
Yeah,
it's gone.
pretty.
Good. Glad it's gone. Yeah.
Well, see, I'm at 6,000. I'm at 6,000.
Yeah. You're in Wrightwood? Is that where you're at?
Yeah, I'm in Wrightwood.
Okay.
And I'm at 6,000, and it's when we first moved up here, we used to get a lot of snow, and the way climate change has come about or worked or whatever it is. The best snow we'll get is maybe 11 inches in one storm.
All right.
And then
that's not horrible.
That might be gone. I mean, we got back in the day, what was it, 2010? I think we got 3 feet in one day, and that was a mess. That made a mess of everything.
Yeah, I couldn't live in that. See, there's no way. I went and
Well, I
helped a
was
buddy.
younger. Now it's
Yeah.
almost 72. I'm kind of like, no.
Right before I've been retired for a long time, but from air conditioning mainly, 30 years HVAC. And one of my good buddies was starting up an air conditioning company in Buffalo, New York. He said, "I'll fly you out here and I'll fly you back, and you can spend time here and blah blah blah." And I said, "Okay." Got me a awesome top brand new building, penthouse, little 1 bedroom overlooking the river there, gorgeous. I went through one winter there and I helped them out for almost a year. And I said, no freaking way. I didn't even want to get out of the truck. I'm in the truck and I'm going to check on these jobs. And I'm like, no way could I live in this. But I'd never been in any of that situation. But after being there, no freaking way. I didn't, not like they would get there. I like this, like I said, I want to be able to go swimming on Christmas and New Year's if I want to, if I so choose. I want the ability to go in the ocean. And so I don't know. The people I've met have been great, all except for Brock. Brock's the only person I met that I don't like. But otherwise, I like you better with the beard.
Yeah, wait till you meet that Dave asshole.
Yeah, exactly. And like I say, man, what I can tell you, the people that I've met here, 100% have been exactly like I see them when they come on and talk. And when you meet them, you don't go, "Oh God, what a phony," You look at them and go, "God, this guy's the exact same."
Like
as
I
I
met,
see him.
At the Wombat, I met James. I made Mitch and Dow and Meow and Jim, and I met all Mike and Nicole, and they're all exactly what.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know about you. Hey, Randy, I don't know about you. Like I said, I had friends, but they were 6-8 hours away. Where I was actually living, I didn't really have that much. So it was all. I don't want to say it was a complete no brainer. I mean, it takes a little bit of gumption to load up 3 bags and hit a plane, never to take off. But like I said, I think a better way, 3 to 6 months to get your feet wet and see what it's all about. But especially in that area, like I said, if I wasn't with my wife, I'd probably be in. I say that I would like to live in where Joe is, but to be around everybody like Mitch and James and all that kind of thing, where they get together and they go and eat, twice a week or whatever, and Tom and Mark when he comes back, I'd probably be in that John Tiem, Rayong, Pattaya area, and then use that as a base and then take off. Like I'm going to Joe's for Thanksgiving, so that'll be fun. Hopefully my wife will be able to join me. And then I'm going fishing in Phuket on Christmas, a couple days after Christmas. So I got a little bit going on. I want to jump on the Forza, and my wife she's done everything except flatten my tires to keep me off 2 wheels, man. But it's just my life. I mean, I told her,
you've been doing it for so long.
Yeah, I mean that's where I get my peace of mind. If you want to see me go crazy, keep me off of that thing for a while. But
mine is sit me down on a beach somewhere and let me listen to the ocean, and I'm happy.
Well, that's what I said, man. I really like Kamala. I could go down. I found a bunch of little places that were like off the beaten track in Phuket, to where you could just go down there and they, do you up a fish and you can sit and have a beer. And I'm not a big drinker, but I drink a beer occasionally.
Yeah.
I like that ability. I can't say that I don't. I can't say that I, is this the perfect place that I would want to live? No, I would want to be, I think, by the ocean. I really enjoyed it. It was 8 months.
When I was down there, I stayed at Patong Beach, one of the hotels, resorts, or whatever, right on the beach. Yeah, and I walked down, stuck my feet in that water, and that water was so warm. I mean, I was trying to compare it to Mexico's water, but no. This water is a lot warmer than anything Mexico could produce. I was really surprised.
Tom, Bobby's saying, Dave, a guy named Zeke Man will be contacting you to meet up with the crew. He's flying in tomorrow. He thinks he wants to live in Pattaya. Okay. And I'm always up for anybody coming to Thailand. That's for sure. Run down the noise of the BK. Yeah, most of that stuff is they're late night stuff. Sometimes you can find them. You pay a little bit more and can get. Believe it or not, I never really knew this, but people pay way more money to be able to stay in some place for like a 20-hour layover because they want to go see Korea or wherever they're going to go. I've never thought about that. When I'm going someplace, I want to go someplace. I don't want to stop. I don't want to do anything. Driving in a car, flying in a plane. So I've never been that way. But people will pay extra because they want to have a layover in Vegas for 20 hours or something.
Nah.
Yeah, that's not me. But it didn't really matter because I was so screwed up time wise. Most of the time, I wanted to get to LA at a reasonable time because what I did was I kept a car at my mom's house. Still do. It's there. I would take the flyaway from LAX to the flyaway from my mom's house in Reseda. 8 minutes, 10 minutes to get there. My mom, she'd come over, pick me up, take me back to her house. So I kind of would, when I would gauge stuff, it would be what time am I arriving at LAX. Everything else didn't care. But what time am I getting there? I don't want to get there at midnight. I'm at the flyaway at 3 a.m. and my mom's got, I didn't want to do that.
No, when I came back, I think I got in at 11. I texted my daughter. She was still out in the Claremont area, and I says, "Okay." I says, "I'm on the ground." She goes, "Okay, I'm leaving." And I think I had once I got through customs and got the bag, got everything, and I was standing out there maybe 15 minutes before she showed up. No big thing, And when I flew into Bangkok, I had got a hotel right by the airport. It was $21 a night or something.
Right.
All I needed was someplace to sleep and kind of burn off the jet lag.
Exactly. Yeah, it never was a concern. I'm more because if I'm going to travel 3 or 4 times a year, I want to at least get the best rate that I can get. I will never travel on all the ones before were all Air China or China Air. I won't do that again. I've went through over that. I just didn't like the way that people treated me. Maybe it's because I look like Santa Claus. I don't know. They didn't like me, and I hate to stereotype anybody, but it was like so consistent. I mean, in the airport, wasn't just getting one dirty look. I was getting dirty looks from every person in every direction. I'm going, man, I don't even get this in a bar that I'm not supposed to be in. I get better treatment.
You sure it wasn't your deodorant?
It could have been. It was really weird because one time I was they had scheduled it so tight going into China that I barely got through their entry stuff to an information booth and said, "Hey man, I can't run, okay? And my airplane that's going to take off here in 10 minutes or something is a 3-hour walk for me." They called somebody and the guy came skidding up in a little electric cart.
Yeah.
Put me in there and I'm going, man, this is awesome. I got off. Well, I only had $5. That's all I had on me. I had no Thai money, and that I had $5 that I keep in my wallet just to buy a soda or something when I'm there until I got home. Then I would take money out. This guy looked at me. He was insulted. 20, give me 20. I said, I don't have 20. He grabbed the thing out of my hand and split up. I said, you're lucky that we're in China because I'd have knocked you out if we'd have been in the States. So that kind of stuff. So it put a bad taste in my mouth. So because I don't know, it never failed, man. Whenever I'm getting up out of a seat on an airplane full of people, right, mostly Chinese, I get up, wait my turn. The people are going out and out. And I try to go, they just run right past me. Like they're going to just come right past. Then I just started putting my arm out. And they just looked at me and I pushed them back. And I'd step up and do it. And, I don't think I should have to do that. Hey, Tim's here. Ann's here. How you doing, Ann? And if you guys aren't subscribed to, I didn't say anything about Mike's channel. Mike has a channel. So you should support him. The gals and all this stuff, I don't know if you... through Bobby, you obviously watch Time to Get Going. all the gals from the Philippines and all that. Just
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
So, excuse me, great supporters, great people. They're awesome. So subscribe to Mike's channel if you would. I know somebody will put up the
An
link.
interesting existence with some Chinese tourists in Chiang Mai at Doi Suthep. We were waiting in a line to get onto the funicular railway that goes up to the top instead of taking the stairs. And myself, my wife, one of our friends and her sister were waiting near the door. And this Chinese lady and a few others were pushing through the queue to get up to the front.
Right.
Until they came to where I was, and I turned around and looked at them and just snarled.
Yeah, I don't know what it is because see in Kamala, I want to say during their peak, because like I said this the other day about I think things are damn near back to normal. In fact, I'd say 75%, 80%. The only percentage that the people wise is that all the tourists from China aren't coming because they won't let them out. So if they let the Chinese out right now, I think it'd be up to 80, 90%, because most of the travelers they're in Kamala. I don't know why they do it. Somebody could probably tell me why. They come there with their full wedding entourage and they take pictures walking on Kamala Beach, down the street. And I'm not saying just one Chinese marriage group, 5 a day walking around during the height of everything. And I don't know why they take them there. But anyway, full wedding dress, full tuxedos, walking down the street with the best man and the groom and the gals all dressed up. I don't know. Maybe it was the thing to do is to get your wedding pictures done in Thailand. I don't know.
And you know what the bad thing about those tours are? They're $0 tours. They pay for everything in China and they get to Thailand and they're taken from the hotel to this viewpoint, to that viewpoint, to this viewpoint, to this restaurant, and they don't put their hand in their pocket at any time. They actually spend nothing. And all the places they visit is prepaid, and the restaurants and whatever are Chinese owned.
Yeah, that's very true.
So they actually put no money into the economy at all.
Yeah, what cracked me up was somebody was saying, "Oh, if they do this big thing to where they're going to let people buy Thailand if they put so much money into the country and this and the next thing, who's going to buy it?" I said, "The Chinese will.
Sure,
they'll buy in anything, man. They'll buy anything they get their hands on." But I couldn't afford it. What they wanted to do, I don't even know if they did that yet. They've been talking about it for 6-8 months or maybe longer. But I don't know if they've done anything. I still don't know if they've done anything on ganja, whether they've come to anything on that. I have to wait for James. James is my authority on everything that comes out. He'll pop up and do a short on anytime anything happens in the government. I find myself absolutely uninterested in watching any news from the United States.
Oh, I'm the same way.
I want nothing to do with nothing. When I hear about it, is my cousin or something from the States will talk and he'll say, "Oh, it's getting bad here with this and that." And it's like, man, I'm glad I'm in Thailand.
Well, they just had the midterm elections.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I voted by mail. I didn't even look to see anything I voted on, whether they won or they passed or whatever.
I don't have a clue. Hey, Jace, how you doing? Then all the Thai people getting this smog from their tour buses. I'll tell you what, man, when I was in John Tiem, quite a few buses coming through there. I was surprised. Tour buses coming.
Well, you know what I noticed when I was in Pattaya, because I did a lot of walking. I really enjoyed walking around that town, from where I was staying up above Soy Buakhao all the way down to Beach Road and back and over and up. And, I was covering a lot of area. There was a lot of buses, tours from India.
Yes.
Yep.
And there was a lot of men. I didn't see a lot of women, but there was a lot of men. I went over to Kolan one day, and all the speedboats, they were just going to be filling up with nothing but people from India. So I rode on the old slow boat over, that I could probably outwalked, if I'd tried. But I was with the Thai families going over, and I really enjoyed that more than anything.
Yeah, nothing. I can't say enough about the people. That's for sure.
Oh.
But when I was here, what's really weird, the things that really amazed me, okay, because I knew nothing about Thailand. In 2015, just to bring everybody up, when I was in Costa Rica, one of the guys that I became friends with, his friend came and spent 2 weeks in Costa Rica, and he'd been in Thailand, in Bangkok, for 3 years. So he's the one that kind of put the bug in my ear. But when I got off the plane and took the taxi ride at night, the biggest things that triggered me was, holy crap, how many 7-Elevens can you have on one street? I look down the street and there's like 5 7-Elevens. I'm going. Then I find out that's like their grocery store. Yeah. So I found that out. And the other thing that kind of intrigued me was 3/4 of the signs back then. This would have been the end of 2018. Half the stores were in Russian writing, and so I found out later that they said a lot of the Russians had come and invested and blah blah. And I think that's changed now. I think they've left long time ago.
Is that down,
but those two things.
That was down in Camelot.
Yeah. The only thing I'll also say about it is, because there's so many Muslims there, the Masiman is the best I've had in Thailand. Has been down that way. The only thing I didn't like was the music at 5 a.m. With them yelling at the top of their lungs from the tower. That kind of got annoying, but that I guess you put up with it. I just moved away from the closest microphone or speaker because it was loud, man. It's loud, but they I was actually intrigued with that also, because I didn't realize that there was Buddhists and Muslims here in Thailand until I got here, and then I found out about that part of the culture. And the thing that I'd like to find out more about is Buddhism, because that's my wife's. I don't know if I'll agree or disagree with it, but because that's her culture, I'd like to know more about it. Anything to know more about Thai. I gotta love Thailand, right? That's
you're trying to learn.
Yeah, that's where the name came from.
And Roman Catholics are big in Thailand as well.
Yeah, when I was close to death, my mom, who was a devout Catholic, she had my wife running around Surin here looking for a Catholic church to get a priest to come and give me the last rites and stuff. Luckily, I didn't need him. Met a nice gentleman from India, said it's only a couple of hours flight and not expensive to fly over to Thailand for a weekend, etc. Really, I didn't know that. My sister-in-law was married to 2 Indian gentlemen, divorced one and married his best friend. They both owned a liquor store in Simi Valley, still do. Wow. And she's over. That was the one that I said, you better go and get. Let's see, my wife's father died with cancer related at 61. Her mother died at 56, cancer related. Her brother died at 56 of cancer related. My wife died at 60, cancer related. And she's the youngest. And the last time a while ago when I talked to her, after my wife had passed and things kind of mellowed out a little bit, I said, boy, if I were you, I'd be nervous as hell about getting cancer. She said, I've already done a whole body scan, everything. I said, good for you. Might as well get a jump on it, because I guess obviously it ran in her family. Then,
the young lady across the street from me, what is she, 40, 45? Her mother died at 42 from breast cancer.
Wow.
And she's been checking. Well, bingo, she just came up positive. And so she just started her first chemo treatment.
My cousin's wife had that, and she's I want to say 12 or 15, maybe even longer year recovery from breast cancer. And I know that if they catch it early enough, it's like one of the has the highest percentage rate of being cured or whatever. I don't know.
This one across the street, she's going to end up losing both breasts and probably her ovaries from it.
Yeah. Well, I guess as long as your life, I don't know, like some women, like if they told me that I could have my wife back and she wouldn't have both her breasts, I'd say, okay. Yeah, but that's, I guess to each their own. I want to say that she might have lost one or something. I don't know, but I know she's a big advocate. Every year on Facebook, she does the run and the ribbon and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, she's over 15 years. I think it's a nasty thing. I would say the F word, cancer. If this wasn't such a family show.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Because there's so many.
Ron saying, yes, I sure do have to get that. Looking forward to Lucas vlogs from his India trip. Yeah, I missed Patty Doyle's. I had it programmed in my thing to remind me and all that, and I haven't even watched it again. I noticed that it went off. I'll have to watch it. But I like his he does quite well with his cinematography, his stuff with drones, and seems like a nice guy. I like him. He's got 117,000 now subscribers, so he's doing well.
Hey, that was something I was going to ask. I was trying to look up on the internet about drones, and I guess if I have a drone here and I try to bring it to Thailand, there's quite a issue trying to get it.
Sometimes I've heard it both ways. Sometimes it's been, the best way that I tell people here is what I did. I had a drone in the States. I sold it to my cousin, and I came here and bought one because you need to get which I didn't. And James reminded me, you can get fined. So now I don't fly it as much, but I have a mini, and the mini is awesome because it's so small. I could throw it on the Forza and it doesn't take up any room. But it's just easier if you go to, like James did, if you go to the DJI store and you buy them, it's a reasonable price and they do everything for you.
They register right then and there.
They give you everything you need. Yeah. It makes it a lot. There you go. Brock's brought his.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
I brought mine. It was easy.
You have to carry the batteries separately, carry them on, right? You can't put them in your pack.
Yeah, you can't pack the batteries.
Yeah. You can't put it all, but I just brought it in my carry-on bag.
There you go. Let's see.
Yeah, but don't you have to register that with Thailand?
Therein could be a problem, and it takes about 3 or 4 months for the paperwork to go through anyway.
It's a pain in the ass, from what I hear.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If I come and I stay for a while, I'll probably just get one from there.
Yeah, I'm just going to fly it in remote areas.
I'll agree with Jay.
I can't and make sure I try not to lose it.
Yeah, that's all I do. I'll fly it around home. I haven't flown it in a while, but I'll tell you what. Coming to the best decision I ever made, Jay, was coming to Thailand. Regardless of my state of mind was not right in the least. But it was the best thing I ever did. I can look back on it now and say, that it was. But I want to say the decisions, probably one of the second best decisions in my life that I made. One was marrying my first wife, and the second was coming to Thailand. There's no doubt. Like I said, it's such a no-brainer for me to look at it. I'm kind of curious that once I talk to people and they actually come because they want to check it out and they say, and they leave, I want to know why. Because I could sit down and have thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. What could make me leave? What's the worst that could happen here that would make me leave? And I just, short of a woman, like if Nitnoy was to pass away, which kind of had a scare on that a while ago, and I told God that it isn't fair. You punished me already for my life with the first one.
Right.
Now I want a break, and I did get a break. But that's the only reason that I could think of leaving Thailand is if I lost my wife. I probably still wouldn't leave. I just live my days out here. I told her too, and and you guys can hold me to it if she does pass before me, that I will take care of her family and the children until the day I die.
Oh yeah.
Which she, she gets a look on her face like, I can't believe this Farang even says this stuff, but I do, because I'm so God, I'm so appreciative. I mean, and like I said, everything that I give my Thai wife, I get back 100-fold. I give her this much love and I get this much back. I give her respect and I get, it's unbelievable. It's because I hate to compare them to Western
Thanks,
women, but
David.
it's not even close.
Well, what's funny was when I got ready, I was sitting up there at the airport at the hotel the night before I was supposed to go over to the airport to fly back to the States. I was I was already on the internet looking at flights, trying to figure out when can I get back here. You know, when
That's
can I
what I
get
did
back
with,
to
like I
Thailand?
said, I was supposed to come back. I came back September, October I went, and I came back the end of October, and I had made arrangements to fly back the first week of January and to live here. And because I like I said, it just passed my 4-year anniversary, whatever. The first week of November, I picked up went online, tick 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 tick, click, and I was the next day I was on a flight to back to Thailand. So
Yeah,
and I'm glad I did. I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to sit in the States any longer. It was perfectly fine. Of course, I had somebody that I knew could come over and stay in my house and just take care of stuff, and I could trust, which helped. And
yeah,
then I just took off. Because then I got all of November, December. I got 2 months extra, and I bought a scooter, which everybody says no, you can't get. Yes, you can get a bank account on a tourist visa. Yes, you can buy a scooter on a tourist visa. I did it. Now, is it going to change in your where you are in Thailand? Sure, it could change from what Chuck does in Tat Phnom. It may not work in Surin, or may not have to jump through the same hoops. But I bought my scooter. I got everything my bank account was the first thing I got. And now, because I know everybody's probably wondering, your first time here, your first thing, and Brock did too. Easy on the plane, in, out, any problems? They want to see
No,
anything or what?
no, the airport. Oh, those reports of the congestion at the airport, underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I arrived and it took 10 seconds to get into the immigration. The guy at immigration was in a great mood, very helpful, stamped the wife and I in, and even gave us a few extra days on the date.
Oh,
wow,
really?
Just to make it a bit easier across the new year to get our extension.
That was nice.
The
Was
wife
that a
even
good?
asked him, he said, "You can't make it till the end of January, can you?" And he said, "No, I can give you a couple of days, but not to the end of January."
Now
Not the
the
60
you don't
day.
need you don't need a TM6 anymore, right?
no,
No TM6. No, they record your
I still got mine in my passport.
yeah.
It's
They
from 3 years
scan your
ago.
boarding card.
yeah,
Oh, your boarding card for
yeah.
your flight to arrive in Thailand, and they put your address in the computer.
Well, so if anybody's saying it's hard to get into Thailand, I don't think so. I've heard it depends on when you fly in on how long
No,
it's going
I
to
didn't.
take
I
you.
didn't have any problem. I came in. I got in there almost midnight, and by the time I, got through everything and had bags and got a SIM card for the phone and with some money, and no, I didn't have any problem. The guy asked me in immigration, so well, when are you going back? I says, well, I showed him I had a copy of my return flight. He goes, okay, you know. I was leaving the 23rd, and he punched me up to the 26th, gave me a few extra days, just to make sure everything was okay. But
Like
I
I
didn't
said,
have.
man, I've never run into a nasty Thai person in any of the places, whether it be for my driver's license, for my passport, for my nine. In fact, I got to go for my 90-day. When am I going? Monday. But I've never had never had any problems. But I've
Well,
never been a complete idiot either. So
yeah, well, you get what you give what you,
exactly.
yeah, you're nice to them, they're gonna be nice to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it goes with everybody.
When I was
we
a
have
kid,
that in the village here.
when I was a kid, I didn't know any better, and I don't know how many times I got beat up by cops, but only because of my mouth.
Yep.
And then a couple of friends had said, you know what? If you just acted decent, 99% of the times they won't put those cuffs on so tight that you have no feeling in your fingers and beat you to death with the cuffs on. They might do it. And sure enough, boy, after that, I lined up. Yes, sir. No, sir. Oh,
That's
those
like
cuffs
going,
too tight.
that's just like going, that's like going through LAX, I just, the, transportation, agents like, hey, how you doing? You having a good day? I hope you're having a good day. I'm nice to them and they seem to be nice back to me. So.
Yeah,
I've
you're
never
right,
had
Ralph.
my bags checked either, Ralph.
I haven't either. But,
Neither has the wife. They're mainly looking for the people trying to get through with half a dozen cartons of stuff.
right.
The guy's there sitting in his chair and he just goes, waves you through.
Yeah, it's been a long time for me, so I don't know. Well, I'm going to find out because I think I'm going to go in February. Like I said, I checked the prices and it was around $800, which I thought was more than fair. I want to say the cheapest that I ever got on one of those China Air China was $590 some odd dollars for a round trip, which was like unheard of even then. But I figured 800 to 1,000 is what it's going to be. Maybe 750 if you get lucky or whatever. But which is fine with me. I just don't want him to jack it up to where it's like, because I know Chuck said that when he went to Texas and stuff, he's paying like $2,200, for flights and stuff. I'm going, that's ridiculous. And I guess in LAX is one of the cheapest places in the U.S. to fly to. So at least to Thailand.
I flew ANA because I don't think Eva was even flying at the time yet. They hadn't come back.
Yeah, ANA is supposed to be nice too. I have never flown them. It's supposed to be nice.
It's ranked. I think it was ranked in the top 5 of all the airlines.
Yeah.
And
and I use that Just Fly app. I've been using that since I was going back and forth to Costa Rica. Because Costa Rica, I did pretty much the same thing. I could have done short ones over to Nicaragua and stuff like that and did visa runs, but I wanted to get back home anyway every 3 months, even when I was there. So I would just fly home, and they gave you 3 months on entry. So I didn't even have to go through anything when I did that. I just came back, visited the people I wanted to, flew back in. They stamped me for 90 days, and I was on my way. But it was nice there. Like I said, I can't really bad talk Costa Rica except for their infrastructure isn't the greatest in the world. But I don't know what it's like now. But see, now there you could own land and own a house and stuff. So it was a little bit different than Thailand, if that's what you're into. Me as a 60, soon to be 66-year-old, if I was a single man, I would never even entertain maybe a condo if I had a boatload of money, because I could buy a condo over in Rayong for under $1 million baht for 30,000, and you could own it. But otherwise, they make it so cheap now for like what they're doing in Pachuap, but under 200 for a 2-bedroom. And granted, they had to put some money into it, but what the heck? I mean, that's ridiculously cheap. That's why people ask me all the time, how much does it cost to live in Thailand? I think you could do it on a Social Security on 1,600, but it depends on it. Chase women and drink every day.
James did that one just recently here where he did his actual budget.
Right.
And for everything he was spending, he couldn't get to $3,000.
No. And that's what I
I mean, he's renting cars and
it's not like well, to me, like I said, I don't think you need to be a brain surgeon to know that if I can get me a place to live for $200 or $250 a month, and the stuff isn't out of sight, as far as food and everything, he can pretty much in your own mind know what you could do. But the biggest thing that you can have that I know of coming over like that would be insurance.
Yeah.
That would be the biggest nut you'd have to make. Otherwise, like I said, I really think you can, because I think the medium for Social Security is about 1,700 a month, and the biggest thing is being able to meet the requirements for retirement visas or whatever kind of visa you're going to get, because you're not, if you're married, then you can get the 400, but if you're not married, the 800. And I still have to do that, but I do it by month because I bring in over 3,000 every month, and it's easier. And people ask me all the time too, can they deliver Social Security to your bank in the Thailand? Yeah, they sure can. I don't do it because I just transfer straight from Chase, and I don't have any problem. And that's where my other money gets deposited too.
Right.
But
yeah, just a blur. But that's it. Hello, Brock's wife. Okay, I got to go, guys. We got to go into town and do some shopping and paperwork.
Hey, Tim, I didn't know you left.
ID cards.
All right, Brock. Take it easy. We'll see you soon.
See you guys another time.
All right. Catch you. Hello. How are you? I was saying the worst thing with Air China is, absolute worst. Like I said, I never got so many. I get dirty looks sometimes in the States when I would, ride up and come into a local bar in a town I'd never been in. But that Beijing was nasty. There's Tim. Did you get it all put together, Tim? Are you ready to race? Tim got me into iRacing, so I've got my little setup over here. He just got his. He bought his cockpit from Lasada, and it just came in, and he texted me last night and showed me a picture. I think he was up half the night putting it together. He's got all his other stuff that he brought from the States, so I'm ready to race, man. Actually, I hear them back in the backyard banging on stuff. It makes me nervous, man. The guys are the greatest, but it's so much better when I have my eyes on what they're doing, because just when they were building the pond, it's like, no, you need to put those down there. Okay. Oh, no, you need to move. Okay. So it only take me a second, but boy, I get nervous when my eyes aren't on what they're doing.
Well, I'll tell you what, I need to step out of here. So
yeah, I'm going to go to. It's been over 2 hours for me. That's plenty. I'm glad that you came on. Anytime you got more that you want to say, come by. I hope you'll come by and see what we got going. But I hope you come to Thailand and check it out. You're more than welcome to come up to Surin and bum around to see what Isan's about.
Sure. Like I said, I hope to be able to come for probably maybe 60 days.
Yeah, and, that'd be a good start.
And I want to start where I left off. I want to go down to Krabi and then just work my way all the way back up, go past Joe and them, and just into Bangkok, and then
sure.
Who knows?
I like Krabi. There's so many places here. When you say like, especially when you're going on the places for me that are on the water, any place like that, I mean, it's hard not to beat it. But that sounds like a perfect plan. It'd be nice to meet you. I'd would definitely do that. And when you're in Bangkok too, or when you come, I'm sure we'll be in touch.
Yeah.
So,
All
right, cool. Well, it was great having you on. Well, and
take care, everybody. I enjoyed it, and I will see you guys all later. You take care.
You take it easy. All right, Mike. Bye. Hey, Paul, how you doing? And all the other people that I didn't get to see if you came in. I'll try to catch you. Still got to tweak a few settings. All right. Well, if you, I still haven't went on, and I'll probably still, as soon as I get done ending this, I'll probably go in the backyard and make sure they got the drain in the right freaking spot. And I don't know, what are they doing on the pool? They still digging it, Tim? I appreciate the schedule. Leaves midnight, arrives Bangkok 11:30. Yeah, that's a good time, Jay. Great stream. Have a great day. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end it. Call me when you're ready. All right. Give me a couple of minutes because I do want to get on it. I almost put the laptop over there and tried to make a run at that big track, and I didn't want to break everything down here and put it over there. Then I had to bring it back for the live stream. But I'll check on them. I'll move the computer over, and I'll give you a buzz. Maybe we'll go around that big track and screw around. All right. The pool's coming all right. I'm going to go back and see, Sean, right now. I'm hoping it's closer. Well, they're putting in the drain. That's why I want to get out there. I want to make sure that that's all set right before they pour concrete over it. But cleaning out the mess they made, looks to be almost ready to drop the shell. Cool. That's good to hear. All right. I got a dry throat too, and no more water. Thank everybody as always, man. You guys are awesome. We did get some new subscribers, like up to 1840 something, almost 30 for the month now. So it's moving in the right direction. I don't know. It'll go backwards now. I'll piss somebody off. But I want to thank everybody for coming in, all the new subscribers and all the subscribers, period. You guys are the best. I got to give Richard, let me go over here and give Richard his due here. Richard Travels does the outro and the intro for the live streams here. It's the best. Richard's a great guy. Hi, Richard's mom, if you're watching. Hi, Richard, if you're watching. And thanks, everybody, for coming. I will catch you on the next one.